Yo, what's happening, everyone? Today's the 20th of February of March, of 2016. Got back not too long ago from Nashville this weekend, and I originally wasn't going to record a video, but I decided to. So we're going to. Today's soap. It's gonna be a little bit of an old one. Barrister and Mann, Seville. Yeah, Seville. There it is. Very good. Today's brush is going to be something of a new one for me. This is a Chubby 2 Manchurian, but it's actually in a faux ivory handle, which you don't see too often these days. And I'll go over the story. This is actually the main reason that I wanted to go to record this video in the first place. Today's razor, I forgot that I was getting this back. This is a blackbird. Blackland Razor's Blackbird, and I actually did have the black oxide one, but I didn't really like the coating much, so I sent it out to Shane, and I got it back, and I'll go over that as well. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and get this on the road, huh? Like I said, I got back not too long ago from Nashville this weekend. On the way between Nashville and Knoxville, you go over something called the Cumberland Plateau, and it's pretty tall, etc. It is a plateau, and there was a lot of snow. It actually, when I was driving east early this afternoon, it started like just ice, like it wasn't like hail or sleet. I guess, I don't know, it was like soft, like feathery ice was falling from the sky. I really don't know like what the proper names of these winter precipitory things, but yeah, so that started happening and it was whack. And I'm a big believer in cruise control. Actually the main reason is because cops look for me to speed, so I'm not going to give them that opportunity to catch me slipping. This brush is a dandy, and like I said, I'll go over it in more detail. But anyway, yeah, like I said, the weather was really whack. So that really fluffy ice was falling, and then then it started turning into snow, and I mean it was snowing heavily, considering like it's technically spring. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be snowing like that. Not in the South. What is that about? But yeah, so it took me a little bit longer than it usually does to get back. Yeah, it's funny how road trips work. Particularly, yeah, it's funny how road trips work. The drive there is always it feels way shorter than the drive back. Particularly, when you're going somewhere you want to go, and you're coming back to somewhere you'd rather not be. So, whatever. All right. First go, the blade that's in this razor is a green 7 o'clock Gillette. Now, the reason that I sent this razor back to Shane in the first place for a refinish is because I did not like the black oxide finish. It felt like it created quite a bit of drag, and I didn't like that at all. So I asked, originally it was going to be sent over for polishing, but I decided that I'm much more into brushed finishes than polished. So I asked him if that would be possible. He said that that he doesn't do the brushed, but that as he's making his progression, the abrasives, that the results after the 800 grit are pretty close to a matte finish, which is, you know, that's pretty accurate actually. And yeah, this razor feels a lot better to use now. I did have this razor up for sale, not anymore. Everybody messed up. I was getting rid of it for a decent price, for like 120 bucks. Shit. Ha! You snooze, you lose. Also, the edges on this one got smoothed out a little bit. These razors have very pronounced edges. As you can see, they're kind of muted, and that makes it a lot nicer as well. So yeah, this is absolutely a keeper for me now, and I'm glad. So the brush, like I mentioned, I was going to go into a bit of detail on that one. I'm not, the most recent Manchurian hair is not my favorite. So I put it available, I put it up for trade on the Shave Nook, and a guy by the name of Ken got in touch with me and said that he wanted to work out a trade. So I was like, what you got, dude? It was originally for the Candy Stripe Chubby 3 Manchurian. So I asked him what he had, and he gave me the list, and he had an ivory, faux ivory, Manchurian Chubby 3, which I've always wanted one, because those ones are indeed rare. You don't really see those too much. You see all the other ones, but faux ivory is not one that you see too often. So he had one, and he was like, yeah, that's cool, that'll work. So, because he was really interested in the Candy Stripe, I told him that I also had a tortoise Chubby 2, and I love the look of that tortoise Chubby 2 looked good, really good. And I'm not even really not a tortoiseshell dude, but yeah, so he was like, yep, that'll work too. And he sent me a list of what he had. Lo and behold, he had an ivory, faux ivory Chubby 2. So, you know, I asked him for that one as well, and he hooked it up. And, you know, as we were working out the specifics, you know, I asked him if he wanted any samples of anything. He was like, nah, dude, you know, I'm an old guy. I've got, I think he said he was in his 70s. He, you know, it indicated that he's got way too much of everything. And, you know, that he was good, but he asked me if I wanted anything. You know, he was saying soaps, blades, aftershaves, fragrances. He mentioned he had a lot of creeds, so I asked him if he had any, Tabarome Original, which is one of the very few that I haven't smelled. He said he didn't, but that he did have some of the Millesime, which I had never smelled either. So I was like, yeah, I'll take a sample of that. He said he'd hook it up. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, he said he'd send me a bit, and cool, that was that. So, I got the package, and I open it. Looking forward to seeing these brushes. And I opened the thing, and not only did he include the brushes, he didn't throw in a sample of Tabarome or Millesime. He threw in a 4-ounce bottle with probably 96% of it still in there. I could not believe it. That's like a $370 bottle of cologne. And that just really got me, you know what I'm saying? This was, I think this was the day before the news of the Cybirds came out. And it just really got me. I was not ready for that at all. Excuse me. So, you know, I hit him back on the shave nook. And told him, you know, about my last 2 years and how it's not really been the easiest time in life. So, you know, talked to him about that, and you know, he told me, you know, kind of went over his life, not life story, but, you know, just professional history, I guess. And just really cool guy, you know what I mean? And you know, he was running his own business. So, you know, I asked him, I'm like, you know, give me some advice here, some professional advice. You know, so we went over some things and some more life stuff, and I'm gonna keep, you know, I'll keep that to myself because I don't want to. It was a private message, so I don't want to blast it out like that. But yeah, that was cool. Thank you very much, Ken. I really appreciate it. More than I can express, and I tried really hard. Trust. So. Back to the brush, which I told you guys that I was going to give you my thoughts on. I have a few Manchurian chubbies. One of the big reasons is because they all feel different. Like the knots they're handmade brushes. So the knots are all distinct. From the shape, to the feel, to the hair that's used, glue bumps, everything. Everything is you know, there's little variations because again, it's handmade. That's just the nature of that beast. This hair is nothing like any hair that I've used on a Manchurian brush before. These are both older ones. They each have the older Made in England stamp rather than Made in Great Britain. The Chubby 3 came in a green box, which I know that they were using in 2012. And this one, the Chubby 2, came in a gray box. And I'm thinking that this may be from the first batch of Manchurian Chubbies. And I'm going to get back to this in a second, but this is where I need to talk about this razor. The corners on this brush were very sharp. Very, very sharp. And as a result, going against the grain on my neck like this was not the most comfortable thing in the world because the corners were digging into my skin. One of the things that Shane did for me while this razor was in his possession is put a radius on these corners. Smoothed them out, muted them a bit, I guess. And it's another huge change in the way this razor feels. This is a damn fine razor. It always cut very, very well, you know, before I sent it off. But, you know, again, like I mentioned, the resistance that the black oxide finish gave and the corners just kind of diminished my enjoyment of using the razor. So yeah, going after this treatment or going through this treatment has done wonders for this razor. Again, this is another one of those new school razors that holds the blade really, really tight, locks it down. Much like a Wolfman does, but this does not, it doesn't feel like a Wolfman. And that's a good thing because, again, redundancy is not the best. But, man, this razor, this is a really good razor for this mustache area for me. And I got myself just a little tiny bit there because of the blade gap. But who cares? So yeah, the hair on this brush, these are denser than today's Manchurians. The hair is different, and it's a completely different sensation. These have a different kind of scrubby. This is like a grainier scrubbiness. A lot of my scrubby Manchurian brushes that I really prefer, like my J Chubby 3, the Italian Marble Chubby 2, those ones I can see people wanting their money back on those brushes. They're very, very scrubby. But I really like that. And I can see somebody wanting to return those brushes, you know, if they bought them new from Simpsons. Again, I personally love it, but everybody, in the words of the great Strong Bad, everybody has a different taste. So, these ones, they're scrubby, but they're not unpleasantly scrubby at all. This is one of those brushes that I think anybody that would use it that face lathers would like this brush. And, you know, again, that's coming from somebody that really likes scrubby brushes. But I just don't see how anybody could not like that brush. So Ken, thank you so very much, man. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your generosity, but above all, I appreciate, you know, the conversation. Like I said, your words, man. The conversation that we had, it was a good one, and definitely going to be putting that one into practice. This is pretty much done here. Let me water off here. Actually, let me see if there's anything that needs to happen up here. I tried this razor with a Paul Silver before, and I didn't really like it too terribly much. I like this blade better in it, and that's a good thing because they're cheap. So yeah. Not exactly in a rush, but I want to try to get this done in one take, which is still going. All right. So, today's aftershave is going to be one that I haven't used in a bit, and it's one that I actually like to pair with this a lot. Fine American Blend. This is actually for my very first order that I placed with Fine a couple years ago. This stuff smells, man, it always smells good. Just a wee touch of menthol, which if it has to be there, the lesser the better. I mean, any aftershave that has menthol can stand to have less menthol for my taste, but this stuff is really, really nice as is. Hopefully the formula is not changed. And that's going to be it. Hope everybody's been well. I hope you will be well. And going to Nashville next week. Yeah, I'm going to Nashville next weekend. We actually have a floating holiday on Friday, so I'm leaving Thursday evening and I'm heading out there, and should be a good one. So yeah, hope you guys, like I said, I hope you guys have been well. Hope you'll be well. I'm, thinking about you, the Cybirds praying. I think I'm gonna contribute to a couple more raffles, but yeah, I think that's it. Ken, again, thank you so very much, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.